It's no secret that Assassin's Creed has lost a lot of its charm, and as someone who fucked with the series so heavily way back in the day, and recently replayed my favorite, that being Brotherhood, Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, the new games ain't got shit on the charm and story of the older games. Like, come on now. The games way back in the day when I was in junior high or high school, like, the games had me, like, want to talk about the game, talk about history, what's going to happen next, like, what's going to happen with Ezio and Desmond and everybody. It had me fucking hyped. This fucking game made having a hood on feel so much more cooler just because you were a kid and you wanted to feel closer to a character that you really fucking liked. The history aspect of Assassin's Creed has always been so fucking cool. As someone who fucking loves history, the game just was just such a treat as a kid to play because I was so interested in so much, right? The game had me interested in fucking Italy and the language and, just so much more. Even in Assassin's Creed 1, right? I was interested in the world, the setting and everything. Assassin's Creed 3, amazing, just baller as fuck. And like the story and setting and like, what's going on in like Black Flag and even Unity. Unity was actually pretty interesting as soon as they fixed up all the bugs and stuff, yeah, but still, it was so fucking cool to see and experience when playing the fucking game. But it's no secret that if you've been paying attention to what the fuck I've been saying, Ezio is my most favorite, right? And how I feel about Desmond is that I feel that most people feel that Desmond is the perfect protagonist for the Assassin's Creed franchise. Seeing the bleed effect give him the ability to do crazy ass shit the Assassins used to do was cool as fuck to see. So, what happened to Assassin's Creed that allowed it to fall so heavily? Big time. And honestly, it just got convoluted story-wise, and the direction of the series just went in a way that honestly, like, a lot of people didn't really care about, overall, right? Like the actual assassin parts, with a Black Flag all the way up until I guess like maybe Syndicate, I guess, were okay, right? Especially like Unity. I thought Unity was cool, right? But the bugs and everything, yeah, right? I thought Syndicate was pretty interesting. Like they had like what was it, like a DLC on the famous serial killer over there. I can't even think of the name right now. It'll come back to me. But yeah, it's just the direction just didn't it just didn't go anywhere, right? It was just stuff to like build up to what they're doing now with the more modern day Assassin's Creed stuff, right? And honestly, if they had just gone in a direction where the more modern day stuff had as much impact gameplay and story wise as like going into the amiss, I think it would have been much better because as a kid I would always think about like, hey, why don't they use the bleed effect to train a bunch of assassins and learning how to do stuff, but also be able to hack and do all this and that, right? It could have been really interesting, right? If they made the more modern day assassins get equipped with all the skills of the past as well as the skills they accumulated in the future, right? That could have been really interesting. But as far as I know, they never did. They never did that. We are in a phase or whatever, right? Where the more modern day stuff is just stuff to help end the game, I guess. It's whatever. Like I don't really care, but I feel like the fall of Assassin's Creed started at Desmond's death. Like after his death, the direction of Assassin's Creed turned into some connected event with multiple characters or some fucking shit, right? Starting with Black Flag, dope game, amazing game, and ending with Syndicate. And like, let's note that when Unity came out, it was a fucking sin, it was a fucking mess and stuff. But when they fixed it, it was pretty fucking good, right? And that still doesn't help, right? Because it still marred the reputation of Assassin's Creed overall, which marred the reputation of Ubisoft, which God damn it. Like it's so hard to talk about Ubisoft nowadays. The Ubisoft that we know back in the day isn't the Ubisoft we know now. It is just a corpse running around with its IPs and just making a mess of things. It's just fucking tragic. And honestly, it just really started with like, Black Flag. I love the game. I love the game so much. But after Desmond's death, it was just a travesty because I don't know what they were doing with the modern day stuff during like Black Flag to Syndicate or whatever. And it was just pretty much the same plot, find pieces of Eden and all that until we go to like the Assassin's Creed revamping its formula And I say that loosely with Origins, Odyssey, and Valhalla, and I guess soon Shadows, I suppose. But like from Black Flag to Syndicate, the modern day stuff, honestly, I didn't give a shit about. It was just like I was so surprised just being some guy, just some guy logging into his computer and just booting up memories of Desmond's ancestor, right? So I was like, what the fuck? I thought it was cool at the time and thought, they were going somewhere with it, but it really didn't. It was just more like set up for more betrayal stuff I really didn't give a fuck about. So yeah, that was upsetting. And if I'm missing certain parts because like the story and everything just got so convoluted and fucking stupid and stuff like that, right? It's just let me know in the comments if I'm missing anything, right? Just be warned, right? That I might be missing stuff because they've made a lot of things annoying to really get through and understand because it's just so convoluted sometimes. But let me know in the comments if I'm missing something. I can't speak. But no, yeah, with the new modern day, Assassin's Creed formula, quote unquote, new formula, we are given a new modern day protagonist in Layla Hassan, who, after joining the Assassins, because the Templars were trying to murder her or some shit, she is put to work to go through the memories of people in history who have seen and interacted with pieces of Eden. There goes that old fucking bullshit ass plot again. It's so goddamn annoying, man. They can't think of anything else really. Which it's a valid goal to keep away from the Templars and stuff like that, but goddamn, man, like do something else. Yeah, so this is where the series is, I guess, kind of on track. Like there's something they're building towards. However, these are Ubisoft games and don't truly get you invested in the world and are very modern day Ubisoft games, right? Back in the day with like the Ezio trilogy and Assassin's Creed 3 and 4, around that era, right? Everything was pretty fun, right? Their games were pretty interesting, like with what they did with their formula, but it just the formula. If you know, you know. Yeah, like the worlds don't really. Oh my god, I just forgot. I forgot Mirage. I fucking forgot from Mirage. Oh my god, I didn't even mean to. I guess it's because it's, I don't know. It's weird. I truly didn't give a fuck about Mirage. Like so far, that's the one game where I'm like, I don't know. But when I read the synopsis on like earlier today with the story, it sounded fucking cool. But like when seeing the gameplay and all this and that, like the new combat and stuff looks cool. But it would be really nice if like if me, a master assassin, could actually fight back and do stuff like back in the day. That'd be fucking neat. Assassin's Creed used to have that power fantasy aspect to it, but I guess not anymore for that realism and stuff, right? Like let it be known that I'm not shitting on like the newer Assassin's Creed stuff. I think like the stories and stuff are really good. In parts, right? I think Valhalla should have been like tightened up a little bit more, especially like the world because it was so fucking vast. Mirage could have been like much better, I guess. Narrative wise, cool. Maybe like the mission designs and the formula, not so much, right? I thought Odyssey was probably like the more like appealing one to me. Unfortunately, I haven't played that one, but I've seen the story, and so I think it's pretty cool and neat. It's just overall just like the combat. I wish we had like the full on the full on the power fantasy aspect to it, right? Especially during that era, during that Greek era. Origins, pretty fucking cool. I liked like the whole story overall. It was pretty neat, but like the modern day Assassin's Creed stuff just doesn't call out to me the way the older stuff did, because in the modern day Assassin's Creed stuff, we're just people like going through like seeing things and just gradually just like walking into this world, right? And trying to help out and do what's best for the world and how they feel, etc., right? Which is nice, which is fine, but overall how it's represented, like there's issues in every Assassin's Creed, modern day Assassin's Creed, right? Even just every Assassin's Creed in general, right? Fucking like Brotherhood. I'm saying all this good shit about Brotherhood, but it does have some gray hairs here and there, right? I'm not going to go ahead and like full on glaze it, but it does have gray hairs to it, which, you know, it's fine. Like, they're older games, they have their own quirks to them, and the modern day stuff has their own good stuff to them. But I lean towards the older stuff because it's, of course, nostalgia, of course, but I just lean towards it because the characters were more interesting. It was more of a power fantasy. I was more interested, more engaged in the world. It just felt like it had more care. And I'm not saying the newer ones don't have any care. I'm saying that, you know, my investment in the older stuff and how they did before was more then than now. Which, you know, it just depends on the player or whoever, right? I'm not saying that the newer ones are terrible, but they have their own quirks, they have their own fans, but their directionlessness, you know, narrative and stuff like that, it's not helping at all. But whatever, I'm getting off track here. The Ubisoft games nowadays are just basically just, hey, here's a world, here's your character, use your character to go ahead and, you know, like, explore the world, do whatever the story tells you to do. Here's some side missions here and there, here's some challenges, whatever, right? And it's just crazy to me, right? Because back in the day, like, you know, I'll keep saying back in the day, it's been like, it's not 20 years, like, maybe like, when did like Brotherhood come out? I think 2007. No, it can't be 2007. I don't know, I'm old. Yeah, I'm old. But yeah, whatever. Like, Brotherhood had it to where, like, side missions had you doing stuff for famous people and, like, getting to know them. Like, there were even side missions where you're unlocking repressed memories about, like, your first love who has moved on and stuff like that because of the life you lived as an assassin, because you're fucking Ezio Differenze Auditore, whatever, right? So yeah, like, it's cool stuff like that that help deepen a character, deepen the story, and, you know, all that, right? It's cool ass shit, like the Pythagoras, like, you know, DLC or side mission stuff with Da Vinci and his assistant that I'm like looking at. I'm looking at them like, oh, okay. Oh my, right? And yeah, it's just stuff like that that help deepen the story, and it's pretty fucking cool. It's pretty good. But now it's just, honestly, it doesn't really get you invested. Like, yeah, I'm pretty sure some people get invested. I'm not counting down every person as being people who don't care about the game. No, I'm pretty sure there are people that like the series as is right now, and like specific games, or like all the newer games. Not punching down on you. I just personally think that we're in a direction that really doesn't help Assassin's Creed or Ubisoft make money and, you know, give the fans what they want. And you know what's crazy? I totally forgot to name Mirage earlier. I'm pretty sure. I've done a lot of takes right now, so I'm like, I don't know where the fuck I am. But yeah, I forgot about Mirage. And it's cool, I guess. In Valhalla, they threw aside Layla, I guess, to make Basim the main character, I guess. We get a whole game explaining who he is and him knowing about assassin stuff and yeah, I guess, like, you know, it's neat, but again, a bit directionless, because trying to turn off the machine that saved the world that cost Desmond's life, I don't think needs so many fucking games to get to that point, right? I kind of don't. I don't think we needed an origin story for Basim, right? Like, we didn't really get one for Ezio. We just sort of like are in his shoes and we learn about him, right? And that's primarily it. I didn't play really Mirage, so maybe I'm missing something. So I don't know, right? But overall, I think it's origin story. I think what they did with like his quote unquote best friend that was like an actual, like, you know, figment of his imagination stuff was pretty cool. I thought that was neat. I thought that was pretty neat. But, you know, overall, the more modern day Assassin's Creeds don't really, you know, tickle my fancy, if that makes any sense. For me, the combat for Assassin's Creed has always been fluid and pretty fun, and, you know, with so much utilities that you can use to go ahead and fuck up NPCs and do whatever, right? It has always been a big aspect of why I love Assassin's Creed. But with the newer ones, they made the enemies harder, their damage sponges, which honestly, it's not new, right? Because we had like the big armored fuckers in Brotherhood that were like kind of like that, but like there's always a workaround, right? Like, I liked Assassin's Creed because it went ahead and used like the anatomy of the human body and armor and stuff like that, because the assassins will go ahead and use that to their advantage and sort of like take advantage of it, right? Or just, you know, brute force and beat the fuck out of people. But yeah, like the fluid combat of older Assassin's Creed games gave you that high that you can defeat armies of people with how skilled you are, and with Brotherhood introducing getting help from other assassins to bring that you personally bring up and fighting armies with your own little army, it's pretty fucking cool, man. But I do get why they wanted to add a little bit more realism with the combat, right? Like making it harder to take down multiple enemies without stealth. And I think that could have been really cool if we were playing as an initiate, or like, you know, an upcoming assassin, right? Who, as the game progresses, it would become, you know, easier of fucking course and looks closer to the Assassin's Creed that we all know and love. I think that could have been really fucking cool, especially with Mirage, since a lot of his, you know, journey, I guess, was him becoming like a master assassin or whatever, and seeing his origin of him like slowly throughout the years getting more trained and more powerful, like not powerful, whatever, right? More skillful as an assassin. So it could have been really interesting if they did that, but again, we didn't get that. We just levels and stuff like that, but whatever, right? Everything that the modern day Assassin's Creed is just doing baby steps, honestly, of what the Desmond era modern day assassins was doing, and then some, right? I want Assassin's Creed to go back to being able to be the assassins stopping the Templars from taking over the world outright with the pieces of Eden, like one game at a fucking time. So what can Assassin's Creed do to help elevate itself and get into a direction that's actually pretty interesting, or make a game with a story and with modern day and, you know, past day, both interesting as hell, right? I guess what they can do, for one, is just finally finish up what they've been setting up to do, and that is turn off the Isu machine that is stopping the solar flare from, you know, destroying the Earth. But I don't even know if the solar flare is still doing its thing or not. Don't know. But they're trying to do things, right? They're trying to figure out how to turn it off, because it's causing, you know, climate change and a whole bunch of fucking issues. So yeah, you see the way I talk, you see the way I don't fucking care about the world of Assassin's Creed or what's going on in it or the modern day stuff. It's because I don't fucking care. Like there's no investment in it at all. So yeah, whatever. What they also can do potentially with something, you know, that they've put together with Layla now in the supercomputer, and with somebody we can assume is Desmond in the Isu supercomputer, they are trying to weave together a way to save the Earth safely, right? So it would be really interesting to see Layla and Desmond help guide the modern day assassins group to what they need to do to help save the world. Layla and Desmond would tell the assassins group a few people's names they need blood from so they can sift through their ancestors' memories. These ancestors would be assassins, of course, who discovered pieces of Eden that weren't completed yet to help be the pieces to the experimental machine the Isu were building, but were too late to stop the solar flare. The problem is the device was also designed to work as a planet-wide piece of Eden to help bend the minds of humans that were, you know, going all over the place and just being menaces to the Isu population, right? Which the Templars would love to use, and something the assassins need to stop the world ending using it, but also try to destroy it afterwards. So yeah, that could be a thing. An idea that definitely needs work, but it's fucking something, besides games that are just picking up pieces of what to do now, that are just baby steps on what the fuck they're trying to do and trying to build narrative-wise in the modern day, because what the fuck, right? And honestly, for the love of God, I'm at the point where going back to the fucking beginning is something I would prefer at this point. To the Desmond era of Assassin's Creed, it would be fucking for the best, right? Because everything went downhill when Desmond died. I'm not saying fuck everything that was decent and was pretty cool when it comes to the newer Assassin's Creed stuff, but combine the best of both worlds and just, you know, do something with that, right? And for the love of God, keep Desmond alive. Look at theories on YouTube or whatever the fuck that could explain him being alive or some fucking shit, right? Like, you know, like Layla is cool and all. She's not really a factor anymore, but whatever. But Desmond is my fucking guy. And but Basim, I guess, like he's just there, right? I don't really care. And I never really liked how they ended my boy's story in 3. It always left a bad taste in my mouth because he was so incredibly important. Like, you know, he was just that guy, right? Important enough to just be the guy to turn on the machine, but not important enough story-wise to to stay alive to help drive the series forward. I don't know, right? It's fucking stupid. You can't even give me that bullshit that they were trying to go ahead and you know, go to other assassins or whatever the fuck, right? It's bullshit because we had Black Flag after that. After fucking Black Assassin's Creed. I almost said Black Ops for some reason. Assassin's Creed 3. We had fucking Black Flag, right? Also his ancestor, right? And so I'm just like wondering, like, what the fuck, right? And like, why not have him like experience other people's memories as well, like the same way Abstergo was doing it in, you know, that weird period of Assassin's Creed from Black Flag to fucking Syndicate. Like, what's going on here? Most feel like it was a mistake to get rid of Desmond, and they could have done so much for my boy here. Honestly, if they had actually combined IPs with Watch Dogs and Assassin's Creed, I'd be open to it, because modern day assassins are so fucking useless. Like, they don't do shit. Like, they hack, I guess. They help with amiss. I don't. They do things. I suppose. I don't know. Like, modern day assassins just borderline useless. I guess, right? And now with Assassin's Creed: A Shadows finally coming to Japan and has been fucked by controversy and kills the popularity for that game, the franchise, and Ubisoft even more. It's just fucking sad, man. Like, I've already said my piece about Assassin's Creed Shadows and how the series just feels directionless. It's floating in a direction and not heading towards that direction willingly, right? It's just getting there at some point at its own pace, which, you know, it's okay, I guess. I don't really care. Like, they are just making games just to make games, which isn't bad, but if the story and gameplay in the world doesn't help maintain or keep the series moving forward in a direction that people like and love or whatever, then it would just damage the overall series and, you know, cause the reputation issues with, you know, the dev team, the series, whatever, right? But with all that being said, what do you guys think of Assassin's Creed now? Has it lost its charm? Did I hit it on the head? Do you think it's still fine? Tell me why. Let me know in the comments below. And thank you so much for watching. Stay safe and healthy mentally, emotionally, and physically. See you guys next time. Peace.